Point. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Colorado, Mr. Tipton, the sponsor of the legislation, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate the committee's consideration of this important piece of legislation here today. The work of the Terrorism and Illicit Finance Subcommittee has uncovered time and again that illicit activities are powered through financing and that illicit operations can't continue if the revenue streams funding those operations are shut off. H.R. 6332, the Improving Strategies to Counter Weapons Proliferation Act, would help make efforts countering weapons proliferation financing more effective by studying the signs of proliferation financing more closely. This legislation would study how our financial institutions, intelligence collecting agencies, and law enforcement share information regarding known weapons proliferation financing activities to better identify what specific activities indicate engagement with proliferation financing. To effectively prevent the spread of dangerous weapons, we must close the gaps that allow bad actors to take advantage of the global financial system. In the United States, we have robust protections in place to help prevent the financing of weapons proliferation involving suspicious activity reports that go to the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network and get reported over to law enforcement by requiring FinCEN to report yearly to Congress on the intelligence products it generates from SARS filings on proliferation finance transactions and how those intelligence products have informed law enforcement action. We can learn the indicators of proliferation finance and to be able to more effectively combat these illicit financial activities, as publicly available information about proliferation financing is relatively sparse globally. This bill could provide a pathway to careful education and regarding proliferation financing that could have global implications. This bill is also timely, as the United States just assumed the presidency of the Financial Action Task Force, an intergovernmental organization founded to develop policies to globally combat money laundering. After learning the signs of proliferation financing, the United States can provide leadership to the rest of the world in countering weapons proliferation financing among the world's bad actors. Nations and bad actors wishing to build dangerous weapons illegally must be able to access and exploit the global financial system, and the United States can lead in combating bad actors' access. In short, H.R. 6332 will provide greater clarity in Congress on an opaque subject that will help maximize current efforts to counter proliferation financing and offer a platform to build on for future policy. I'd like to commend my colleague, Ms. Sinema, for leading this effort with me, and I'd like to encourage my colleagues to move this legislation out of the committee here today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. Who seeks recognition?